Okay, so this video is going to break down the cheapest areas to buy a house in Windsor, Ontario, okay? And this is my honest opinion. If it's garbage, I'm going to tell you it's a garbage area. If it's a good area and still cheap, and those do exist, I'm going to go over a place that you should not live and you should not buy a house, and also a place that I think is amazing bang for your buck. I know it's kind of scary to move to a new city. You don't know. So if you have any questions, you're looking to buy a house in the Windsor area and you need some help, feel free to reach out. That is my phone number right there on the screen. Text works best, and then we can get in touch. All right, so first up, we have Remington Park. So if you go to your map, like this is Windsor right here that you see, and you scroll in, Remington Park is you're gonna look for Howard Avenue, okay? Howard Avenue is one of the main streets that run north to south in our city. Partway down, you see Remington Park right here. Let's click it. I would say it's this area right here. Grand Maris, South Pacific, Howard Avenue. This box right in this little area is the main section of Remington Park. The homes in this area are generally small, little post-wartime homes. It's a safe area, but it's definitely blue collar. Like, this isn't like the luxury suburbs. This is a blue collar area. But from the people I know that have moved there, like one guy moved to town, moved there, and he called me. He goes, "Ryan, I love Remington Park. My neighbors are super nice. They take care of things when I'm gone. Everyone's down to earth and just nice, cool working class people." So houses in this area are going to be like $300,000 to like $400,000. Some go more, but that's the bulk of them. And these anywhere else in the city, almost anywhere else, at the $300,000 price range, you're going to be in an area with high crime and lots of drugs around. Whereas this is less of that. Again, this is a quiet, safe area for the most part. Okay, compared to, which we're going to mention later, like there's one area of the city where you can get a house for that price, but it is the highest crime in the entire city. We'll talk about that next. But right now, Remington Park, you don't necessarily have to worry about that to that degree. This is a perfect example of what you find in this area. This house was listed at $300,000 and it sold for $360,000. It is 2 beds and it has 2 bathrooms. This is the type of post-World War II home I'm talking about. Here's one more for you, except for that Leafs flag right there. It was pretty nice. Really nice garage. It's small, though. 2 beds, 1 bathroom. It sold for $350,000. There is another neighborhood that we're going to talk about that I think is better than Remington Park, and it's around the same price, that $350 price point you can get in there. That's coming towards the end of the video. Next, we're talking about a place that a lot of people would say don't move to. It's a little rough. It's the highest crime in Windsor. My name's Ryan, by the way. I'm a real estate agent in the area. I sell houses in this area, and I help people buy houses in this area. If you're moving to the area, you need some more info, that's my phone number. Feel free to reach out to me, okay? Okay, cheapest area number 2. By the way, these aren't in exact, like, monetary order. This one's actually cheaper than the first one. This is Sandwich Town. Sandwich Town, or Old Sandwich Town as some people call it, is way on the western part of this city. Just, you see this road, this yellow one? This is Highway 3 or Huron Church. Just west of that, this triangle right here with Prince Road and Sandwich Street right here. And I guess down here too is technically also Sandwich. This is Sandwich Town, okay? Now this area has some of the highest crime in all of Windsor. Specifically up here, you see where Mill Street, this is Mill Street right here, and this is Felix. So all around here where my mouse is going around, this has some of the worst crime in Windsor. However, that being said, it also has the highest concentration of homes that sell between $200,000 and $300,000. I don't know where else you can go in Ontario to find that. And it's right there in Sandwich Town. I've already mentioned it's high crime, though. 3 other things I want to mention to you about this area. Number 1, houses that sell in this price range, $200,000 to $300,000. There's something wrong with them. Even in Windsor, which is pretty cheap, there's always going to be some more work you have to put into them. I've seen some that have foundation issues. I've seen some that have water issues. I've seen some that have plumbing issues. I've seen some that have rodent issues. These homes are very cheap for a reason. Now, you might be a guy who's handy and you're an investor and you want to flip them, and that's great for you. You can go in there and you can fix it. I just don't want you to start looking at a house and not know there's going to be more money you have to put into it than the $200 and something thousand. Number two, in this price range, they list them to get multiple offers. So they're gonna list the house lower than what it's worth. This house right here, for example, this was listed at $199 and it sold for $255. This house was listed at $199 and it sold for $250. And then this one listed at $219 and it sold for $260. That's pretty standard, and the reason is because there's a lot of buyers in the lower part of the price range. Obviously, there's less people with $1 million than there is with 200,000. Number four, and this is important if you have kids, schools in this area have some of the lowest ratings in all of Windsor. If you scroll in on your map here, you're going to find General Brock Public School. This thing has a rating from the Fraser Institute of like 2.5% or something like that. Students at this school perform significantly below average on province-wide testing. So that's General Brock. If you move down here, the other school in Sandwichtown is Marlborough Public School, right down here. This also has a really low rating, although it's a little bit better than Brock. If you're watching this video and you live in Sandwichtown, feel free to comment down below whether you like it or you don't like it, or if I'm exaggerating it or whatever. In the meantime, I got another really cool area to tell you about that's like the center of arts and culture in Windsor, and it's pretty affordable, okay? Let's go. All right, let's go back to a good one, Walkerville. This is relatively affordable and still known as a really good place to live in Windsor. I think you're more likely, if you buy a house in this area, to see capital growth more than you are in some of the other areas that we've mentioned so far. So when I say Walkerville, I'm talking right over here. You click that, Walkerville, it highlights it, and South Walkerville I'm referring to too, which is all this part down here. I'm not referring to the super ritzy expensive area, because that's not affordable, of Walkerville, which is these first few streets. After Walker Road, you get Monmouth, you get Argyle, you get Devonshire, you get Kildare, Willestead, Crescent especially. These are all like $1 million homes or more, or some of them are. They're old, stately homes, but all of this is Walkerville too. And this, if you look at this video footage, I mean, it's a little bit more... It's a cross between urban and suburban, to be honest with you. And these are a lot more cheaper, and they are still considered a nice place to live. And get this, they're super close to some of the best bars and restaurants in Windsor, okay? So if you go up here, this is Wyandotte Street, this big main one here, and all these are some, like, Twisted Apron, like, famous in our area for their brunch. That's a really nice brunch restaurant. You got Vito's Pizzeria. You got the Kildare House, which is a nice pub. There's where's Winology? Winology is in here somewhere too. This is what a lot of people would call the center of arts and culture in Windsor. It's a very trendy, artsy area. In fact, even like Friday nights in the summer, they like shut down this main street and they just have vendors and live music playing. Walkerville Brewery is right around the corner. You can get a beer and walk the streets, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really good time. There's lots of musicians playing at the different coffee houses and bars around here as well. It's a really nice area. You're close to public transit. You're close to everything you need. Here's a good example of the type of house that you're going to find here, okay? This house sold for just over $400,000. Look how much house you get for $400K. Pretty much nowhere else in Ontario, and even this city, you're going to get that big of a house for that price. And here's the thing, it was also really nice on the inside. The only downside I see is, like, look how close you are to your neighbors. And that's what I mean by this place is like a cross between suburban and urban. They are packed in pretty tight. And also there's no front parking. Like, your parking is going to be in the back of the house. There's going to be an alley and you're going to have your own little driveway back there. But you got to go down the alley to get there. So, I mean, that's the only downside. But aside from that, for the price, I mean, this is probably one of the better spots that you can live. This one right here sold for $380,000. So they do get cheaper. 3 beds, 1 bathroom. It's in good shape. Also, I want to show you this. I just thought it was a great deal. This house right here, look how, like, unique it is. Like, this house has character. It's sold for $450,000. In any other city, this would be like probably $700K. It's $450,000 in Walkerville in Windsor. Okay, up next, I've got another spot that I don't think you should buy. I got a story. Like, it's a rough area. Don't buy here, even though it's cheap. But then I'm going to finish the video with, I think, my favorite spot in Windsor that's affordable. Again, my name's Ryan. If you're moving to the area, you need some help, phone number right there on the screen. Okay, so let's talk city center. Back to my map here. If you go to where it says Windsor, see this word, and then scroll in, you're going to see city center right there. This includes downtown, but also a little bit off from downtown, and I'm telling you, this is a bit of a rough area to live. You're going to find them super cheap in this area, but there's a reason for that, okay? In fact, if you go back and you watch this video right here, I got a whole story about when I was young and I didn't know the city, and I moved to an apartment building in this area, and there was an infestation, and there was a lot of sketchy stuff that I saw. I wouldn't typically advise buying in this area. The only exception to that would be some of the condos downtown that have security in the front, and they're actually nice inside and affordable. You can watch my condo videos for more about that, but this I want to talk about the detached homes. You can get a house like this for $260,000. Or you can get a house like this for $305,000. That's incredibly cheap for Canada. But trust me, it's a rough area. If you know where to look and you're driving down like Church Street in that area, like there are crack dens that I know of that are in the area. Not that I've been to them. Actually, I do have a story. My first year in real estate, there was this house listed like really, really cheap in this area. And like we're talking like $100,000. And so I go and I show this investor this house. I walk in with the investor. We both ran out and started dry heaving on the lawn. The reason is because it smelled so bad in there. They had like 6 cats that just went to the bathroom all over the house, and they didn't clean it. This was a boarding house for transient people that just go city to city. Not quite homeless, but not doing great either. And some interesting characters in there. That was one of the rougher houses I've ever seen. Not everyone that lives in the area is going to be like that, obviously, but there are those types of people nearby. Also, it's very loud. Like I said, if you go back to your map, you are close to downtown. You're going to hear a lot of sirens, a lot of stuff like that going on. People coming out from the bars. Like even if you live here, Janette, Bruce, Church, I mean, you're walking distance from the bars, like you will get the riffraff coming down the street. I just don't think it's a very good area to be buying a house. I think if you got a little bit more money, you can put it into a better place, like the place I got coming up next. Okay, so this is the other area that I was talking about on the list. My favorite area on this list, actually, if I was looking for a home in the price range we're talking about today, this is the area that I would be looking for that home. Okay, so where I am right now is East Windsor. If you look on your map here, okay, this box is where I am. Okay, now if you go further east into Riverside, it does get more expensive, but right here, houses are selling for around $350,000 to $450,000 in that price range. Okay, now here's the thing. Elsewhere in this city, in that price range, like I said, you might end up somewhere where there's higher crime, closer to downtown, a little bit more gritty areas, but this here is a very quiet family area. Okay, I mean, listen, I just hear birds chirping. And you can see here from the curb appeal too, like people actually take care of their properties in this area. These are some nice homes. And the fact that they're selling in that price range, $350,000 to $450,000, again, this would be where I would be looking in that price range. I know someone that lives nearby on Elrose, a few streets down. She says loves her street, loves her neighbors. So again, I'm in this box here, okay, and they're selling $350,000 to $450,000. Actually, let's have a look at a few. Okay, so this house here is an example of what I'm talking about. This was listed for $300,000. It sold for $360K. It had 2 beds, 2 baths. And this is the type of home that was built right after World War II, just like the first area we talked about, Remington Park. It's been really well taken care of, though. Here's another one that was $375,000. It's a little bit dated inside, but it was really well cared for. And it has a garage. Okay, last one I want to show you. This is the upper part of the price range, okay? This guy sold for $450,000, but this thing was downright sexy inside, okay? It's a great house. It looked really well, and it has a basement with more living space down there. Okay, so those are some of the cheapest places in Windsor I've mentioned on this list. There's a few more. There's like South Central, which is like right here on your map. I might talk about that in another video coming up soon. But I think I've showed you my favorite spots for that kind of price range, okay? Again, my name's Ryan. I'm a real estate agent in Windsor. If you need more information about moving here, you need some help, feel free to reach out. That's my phone number. Feel free to give me a call.